Peace, brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. I have this amazing video to pass on to you guys because we have the strongest confirmation that war is about to happen. Not any war, but the World War III. And our escape from that war also is about to happen. And I'm very excited to see this information and to pass on to you guys because you will see how amazing this is to understand the times that we are living and how close we are to the rapture of the church. So our escape will be through this portal in heaven where we will escape this World War III to be together with our bridegroom Jesus Christ, who is waiting for us as well to be there with him in the wedding supper of the Lamb. So I'll try to do this live stream as fast as I can because we don't know how long my computer will last, but I just need to pass on this information for you guys through a live stream because I don't have enough time to make an edited video. So let's go here to the first slide, which I showed you guys on my previous video, was the confirmations that we had through the solar and lunar eclipses that happened in 2022 and 2023 and also will happen in 2024. Those are the solar and lunar eclipses that happened, the tetrads of lunar and the tetrads of solar eclipses that are pointing to the soon end of the grace, the soon end of the fish age, which is the age of the church, and the soon ending of the time of the brides, because we are the brides that will marry the bridegroom Jesus Christ. So this is very key information. Watch on my previous video, but now I will do this thing and compare these years 2022, 2023 and 2024 to the years that started World War II. So let's go there. But before that, remember that I told you in my previous video that those solar eclipses, they don't fall on the first day of the month. They actually fall on the last day of the previous month. So instead of being the first day of Nisan, it is the last day of Adar. Instead of being the first day of Tishrei, it is the last day of Elul. So the last day of the Pisces, the last day of Virgo. Pisces, the last day of Pisces, the last day of Virgo, and so on. This is a very key, important information for you to understand. Now let's go there to the year that previous started World War II. And to begin this, I'm going to point this eclipse here, this lunar eclipse, that fell on Passover 2022 on the 15th of May. And this eclipse here points to the eclipse that fell on 14th of May 1938. Now the second eclipse here, the fall on Tabernacles on November 7, 2022, points to the 8th of November 1938, also blood moon eclipse on Tabernacles. Now this lunar eclipse here on May 5th, 2023, Passover, points to the eclipse on Passover on the 4th of May, 1939. And lastly here we have the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse on Tabernacles, the 28th of October 2023, which will still happen in 7 days from now, points to the blood moon eclipse of the 28th of October 1939 that also fell on Tabernacles. So this information here, that we had a blood moon tetrad in 1938 and 1939, the years that started World War II. This information I showed you guys on my previous video in 2022. The video is number 2022, number 31. You can find that video on my channel, and you will see that I showed you guys this information that on my previous video. But some information that I didn't know and I had to research while I was doing this video is that there are more confirmations with this, because this solar eclipse here on the 20th of April 2023 that fell on the last day of the constellation of Pisces points to this solar eclipse here also on the last day of the constellation of Pisces on the 19th of April 1939. The following here also fits on the last day of the Virgin, 14th of October 2023. We just watched this solar eclipse happen in 2023. Points to the solar eclipse on the 12th of October 1939 as well. Then we had this coming solar eclipse on the 8th of April 2024, and it points to the 7th of April 1940, and also the last one also applies, the 30th of Elul on the 2nd of October 2024 will also match the one in 1940 on the first day of October. So on 1938, 1939, and 1940 we had basically the exact same solar and lunar eclipses that you are seeing here. They were falling about one day off, or sometimes in the same date as the other one. So very interesting, because we are seeing a pattern of both of these time frames that we had in 1938, 39, and 40 with 2022, 2023, and 2024. To add this up, we had, right, of course, the 4th of May 1940, another lunar eclipse on Passover, and also on the 28th of October 1940 on Tabernacles. So we had here a blood moon tetrad with a solar eclipse tetrad there as well. And something that is very interesting as well is that another solar eclipse happened in 1938 on the 29th of May, and that wasn't on the 30th of Adar, or the last day of the constellation of Pisces, but that was the last day of the constellation of Aries, the last day of Nisan, which is the month of Passover. And after that, we had on the last day of the constellation of Tishrei, which is the month of the scales, the month of the Feast of Tabernacles. So very interesting that this changed after with the 30th of Adar, 30th of Elul solar eclipses. So these were the confirmations that we had in 2022, 2023, and 2024 with the 1938, 1939, and 1940. Another very key information that is very important as well is that this eclipse here on the 19th of April 1939, that eclipse was the birth date of the supreme Iran leader that is trying to destroy Israel now. And his birthday was on a solar eclipse, which our brother Jared from Supernatural by Design pointed out that this eclipse is very important as well, with our eclipse here that points to the rise of Haman, the guy that is the Antichrist that persecute or try to destroy the Jews. So very interesting here information that I got from our brother Jared from Supernatural by Design. But coming here to the start of the World War II, you will see that it's a very interesting pattern, because World War II started on the 1st of September 1939. So it was after this blood moon eclipse on Passover, but before the solar eclipse on October. It was precisely right here the Second World War started. And you see that these two eclipses here match perfectly those two eclipses that happened here on the 5th of May 2023 and just happened on the 14th of October 2023. So what happened between those eclipses that is very key and relevant for us to understand. So what happened is Israel entered into war. So exactly like it was for the Second World War that started after the blood moon eclipse and before the solar eclipse, exactly Israel entered into war on the Middle East after the Passover eclipse, but before the solar eclipse. So very interesting, because this alignment here is insane if you start to think about it. Those solar and lunar eclipses on the Second World War and now pointing to this time frame, and a war started in the Middle East that is heating up as we are talking here. It's insane, because we can be very sure that this war that Israel entered might just as well be the Third World War. We just are not calling the Third World War yet, but this has this perfectly alignment that proves that this could very well be the Third World War. And to confirm this even further, another confirmation that I had from brother Jared from Supernatural by Design, we see that the planet Venus on the First World War, on the 28th of July 1914, the planet Venus was on the constellation of Leo. That's the start of the First World War. the start of the Second World War on the 1st of September 1939. The planet Venus was also in the constellation of Leo. And one more here. On the moment that Israel entered into war, the 7th of October 2023, Venus was also in the constellation of Leo. The only thing that changed between those is the position of the Sun. First World War, the Sun was in Cancer. Second World War, the Sun was in Leo. And now, this war here that just started, the Sun was in Virgo. Very interesting information here. We might just saw the start of the Third World War there with the war with Israel and how this is heating up quickly. This might very well be the Third World War that we are expecting, which means for us that we are soon to leave this place. And I have more information to give to you, and I will start by going to the book of Jubilees. The book of Jubilees is very interesting because it shows that from the creation until the fall of man, Adam and Eve stayed in the Garden of Eden for 7 years. So the world was created by God, and on the 7th year, Adam and Eve ate from the forbidden fruit. But they stayed on the Garden of Eden for 7 years. This is very important because if we start accounting from the creation of the world all the way until the fall of man, if we add 5,993 years from the fall of man, we reach the 6th millennium, the 6,000 years since creation there. At the end of the tribulation, or the start of the millennium, the Sabbath rest for 1,000 years of Christ. So from the fall of man, adding 5,993 years, we reach that point there. However, there is another counting that starts from the fall of mankind as being the first year. That would mean for us that the creation of the world happened 7 years before, on the year -6, let's put it that way. So if we add 6,000 years to that, we reach the year 5994, and that would be the start of tribulation and the rapture of the church. So basically what I'm saying here is that the 6,000 year, which is the 120 Jubilee, that has two countings here that works for God and for us as well. One starting from the creation of the world, and one starting from the fall of man. One falls in the end of the tribulation after the 7 years of tribulation, and one falls at the end of the grace period, which is the start of the tribulation. So both of these dates could be the 120 Jubilee or the 6,000 year, based on which one are you starting to count from the creation of the world or from the fall of man. But something that is very similar, just like Adam and Eve were in the garden for 7 years, so will the second Adam, which is Jesus, and the second Eve, which was brought forth from his pierced side with water and his blood, which is the church. The second Eve is the church that will marry the second Adam. They will be for 7 years in the Father's house, which is also paradise, so the second Garden of Eden. Very interesting here, because we are seeing a pattern that fits this year that we just entered, the year 5994. And before I tell you this, let's go to the time of Noah, because the rapture will happen just like in the time of Noah. So Noah was 600 years old when the flood came. And we can count from Genesis there all the way until Noah's 600 years, that it was precisely the year 1656. Which is very interesting because the 33rd Jubilee, so 33 times 50, it is the year 1650. Which means for us that God may be using the calendar that creation starts on the year -6 and counting from the fall of man instead of counting from the creation there. So very interesting, because exactly 6 is the number that appears here. So 1656 minus 6, we get to the 33rd Jubilee, the moment where the flood came. And adding 6,000 years, we reach there to the year 5994, which is the year that we are right now. So 5994 could very well be the 6,000 years, or the Jubilee year since the creation of the world, the 120 Jubilee. Now, the flood came here when Noah was 600 years old, on the second month, which back then was the month of Heshvan, which is 30 days. On the 10th day of the second month, Noah entered the ark, so 10 more days. And then on the 17th day of the second month, that's when the flood came. That's plus 7 days. So Noah was 600 years old, 30 days, which was 1 month, and 17 days when the flood came. So 600 years old could very well be the 6,000 years metaphor for when we are right now. In the second month, 10th day when he entered the ark, plus 40 days. So what I'm trying to say here is that the Feast of Trumpets of the year 5994, which is just passed, could very well be the year 6000 since the creation of the world. And the moment that we will enter our ark, which should be the rapture of the church, just like Noah entered his ark, it is going to be the 6,000 year plus 40 days, which we are going to see now because we are very close to that moment. So now, taking a look at our current timeline, what we are seeing here, we're seeing that from the 16th all the way until the 19th of September 2023, it was the Feast of Trumpets in Israel, which the UN made this deal to accelerate the 2030 agenda for 7 more years. And on the skies we were seeing, and everybody was talking about, this alignment in the constellation of Virgo with the asteroids Child, United Nations, Israel, Laban, Leah, Yeshua. So many other asteroids, but this was the key 6 asteroids here that are very important. This date here, for the Jews, it was when, for them, started the year 5994. We know that they are calling this the 5784 because they are missing 210 years. But truly it would be the 5994 for them. That's when, for them, that year started. After that, soon after that, we saw that Israel announces entering into war on the 7th of October 2023, and that was precisely on the correct calendar, the Feast of New Oil. So very interesting as well that fell on that feast. And then after that we saw the Ring of Fire solar eclipse there on the 14th of October 2023, that fell on the finger of the constellation of Virgo, so on the finger of the Virgin, pointing on the correct calendar the last day of the year 5993 and the last day of the constellation of Virgin, the last day of Elul, which is the Virgo month. After that, we went past the Feast of Trumpets on the correct calendar that started the year 5994 on the 16th of October 2023, and we are about to reach the Feast of Atonement, the Feast of Yom Kippur of 5994 on the 25th of October 2023, which means this feast will be the feast of the last trump if this is to be a Jubilee year. And as you saw here on my previous slides, the year 5994 could very well be the 120 Jubilee since the creation of the world. So this could very well be a Jubilee year, which means that the last trump will fall on the Feast of Atonement. And we had a confirmation with that because Israel announced war precisely 50 years after their Yom Kippur War, which is the Feast of Atonement War in 1973. So it's just like God is pointing. Take a look, 50 years from that war, it is also a Jubilee which will fall there exactly where we are right now. So amazing confirmation that God showed us with this Yom Kippur War, and that means that the last trumpet will sound on the Feast of Atonement. Correct date for that is the 25th of October 2023. Now remember that for Israel, that is 1 month in advance, they started their year 5994 there on the 16th of September 2023. Adding 40 days from that date precisely reaches the 25th of October 2023, and that for them is the day Noah entered the ark for the Jews. So we have amazing confirmations here from this time frame that we are looking, from Israel's perspective, from solar and lunar eclipses perspective, and from confirmations here of the true calendar falling on the correct feasts with the year, the time frame that World War II started as well. So amazing confirmations, because we just might very well be very close to the rapture. A few days from now could the rapture happen on the true Feast of Atonement, while the Jews think it is the day that Noah entered the ark. So as they are saying that Noah entered the ark on that day, that's when the bride will enter their ark and leave this place to be safe from what? From the deluge, the flood that will come precisely 7 days after, on the 31st of October, Halloween's Day. Perhaps that's when the war, the Third World War starts. That's when it hits up to a point that nukes are falling, and that precisely could be exactly 7 days after this Feast of Atonement here, which the Jews are expecting Noah to enter the ark. And for us, it will be the last trumpet on the Jubilee year 5994, which we just entered here. So it is amazing confirmation. And to confirm this just a little bit further here, we had this channel on YouTube from Mr. Beast, making an allusion to the beast that will come. His channel has 200 million subscribers, and his previous video reached 100 million views, and he showed this on his video. Take a look.
And that's why up next we have the 15 minute.
Take a look at this. Isn't this a predictive programming here, where a nuke may fall on the East Coast here, precisely on New York? We had a prophecy from a brother here. They saw this happening. So this, he showed this on his video to 100 million people, and he confirmed this even further here.
Your country. The good news is,
so bombs hitting here the East Coast of the United States on his video.
Your country. The good news is, it's a 45.
And this is the situation that happened after those bombs hit the United States. The whole East Coast of the United States is burning here. It's destroyed basically. So that's what he's pointing in his video to 100 million people there to watch. So we might very well be very close to the rapture, guys. We might just escape this Third World War that might just have started there when Israel declared war. So amazing confirmations with the Second World War, amazing confirmations in the skies which nobody can tamper with, amazing confirmations with the feasts. Both for the Jews, there are 1 month in advance, and for us that seek the correct calendar, and everything is hitting up on the news. We are seeing 2 large ships from the US in the Middle East there, expecting the war. We see Russia already warning United States. We see China warning as well. We see Iran about to enter, Israel about to invade Gaza. We're seeing things hit up to a point of no return. So we can just be very excited for our escape from this war, from our escape from this earth, because the rapture will surely happen to protect those that are like Noah, protect those that believe in Jesus Christ, those that are expecting the rapture to escape this place, those that are expecting the bridegroom to marry him just like Eve married Adam. So our second Adam will surely be there waiting for us in this moment. So I'm very glad to be doing this video for you. I'm very glad that this worked out. I didn't have a problem here for now, but I'm very excited that this is it. Perhaps we are going to see each other very, very soon there in the skies, perhaps in a couple days from now, who knows. But I'm very excited to be here at this moment telling you this information, because this information here made me very glad as I was researching and doing this video for you guys. So Maranatha, I hope to see you guys very, very soon, perhaps in the wedding supper of the Lamb there. on the true Feast of Atonement, when the Jews are calling that the day that Noah entered the ark. I pray that you are blessed by this. If you want to support me, if we still have more time here, I will need to support here to be able to buy another computer to keep on doing live streams, because this computer is about to die. So, Maranatha, I hope to see you guys very, very soon. I hope we are not here by the end of this month. And I pray that you are blessed in the name of Jesus Christ, our beloved bridegroom. Amen. Maranatha.